The location map here shows the property outlined in blue and its relation to county roads. The parcel fronts Speaks Road or Route 43. Other nearby roads are Kelso Mill Road and Joplin Road. This is an aerial photograph taken in 2022, shows the property with existing structures. And here's the concept plan submitted by the applicants. The proposed project includes creating 10 tent sites at 400 square feet each, 9 RV sites at approximately 2,000 square feet each, associated recreational amenities and parking facilities. The applicant proposes to keep the existing structures. One of them will be converted into a bathhouse, caretaker suite, and a camp store, while the other ones will be kept for maintenance, equipment, storage. Some known impacts are: the development will use public sewer and private well. It can be visible from surrounding areas and those traveling along Peaks Road. Sounds typical of this type of use could be heard from nearby homes. Minor impacts are expected for fire rescue services, and nearby roads associated with the campground use shall be directed downward and away from adjoining properties. Large evergreen trees shall be planted in a 20-foot wide buffer yard. The property boundary line shall be sufficiently marked to alert all guests of the campground limits as determined by the zoning administrator. How the boundary lines will be marked shall be reviewed and approved during the major site plan process.
We tore down the buildings, and there was a lot of invasive species such as kudzu, tree of heaven, and a lot of briars. So we cleaned all that out. I personally planted 2,000 pine trees and hardwood species, but mostly oak trees, which they blocked the view of Route 43. So when you drive down the highway, you really can't see where any of the glamping units would be located. There's a picnic table back there, and that's where one of the glamping sites would be located. And that sits on a little bit of a natural levee. It's about 10 to 15 feet above the picture on the right, is looking out towards the field. In that grassy area, that would be potentially, possibly a proposed RV location. I'm thinking of maybe 2 to 3 glamping sites, and if approved, half a dozen RV sites, just something for my retirement. So I'm not looking to have anything really large, a very small operation. I would like to model my campground on the South Carolina State Park campgrounds, because there they have a lot of evergreen shrubbery and a lot of space in between campsites, and a lot of privates. It's completely forested now. There's oak trees, 20-foot tall oak trees that I personally planted that are taking off, lots of 25, 30-foot pine trees. Just looking into the field from Route 43, you can see the 25, 30-foot pine trees that are a buffer zone between the adjacent properties, so that you can't even see any of the properties that are bordering my property. And you can see the a lot of the pines I put in about 4 years ago, they're taking off. That will obstruct any view from Route 43.
Number one, as Mr. Clark pointed out, it's an extremely busy intersection. For 5 or 6 years, I lived on the north side of Bedford up at Weeks Valley Road. And I will tell you this, it is one of the most beautiful parts of Bedford County. But as Mr. Clark pointed out, cars coming down from the parkway do generally travel pretty fast at that point. It is at times it's a busy intersection. It can be hazardous. All the site issues that have been pointed out certainly are applicable. Another thing is you bring these RVs in there, you're also bringing, they're going to be towing behind them their own vehicles to travel around with, which is going to increase the traffic. And we've got, that is a farming area. I know there's several big farms up there off Kelso Mill Road, and of course the one directly across the street.
Everybody wants to protect their property, and it is their property, but it's also his property too. He has property